The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that, if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
Hey kids, welcome back to Roto Talk.
Hey kids, welcome back. Happy Friday the 13th. So, we're going to go ahead and start the Vbox build for the Cracker Box because Uncle Joe is sending us a G30 tunnel hull to build, which is going to be fun. So, while we're waiting, it's cold, it's nasty, and because God has a sense of humor, my lake thawed because it was warm last few days. But it thawed in front of my house. There's like running water, but there's ice on each side, and now it's like 25. So I've been taking pot shots at geese with my BB gun. But either way, so this is the Vbox. I'm not gonna get super detailed with this build. I have 3 of these boats, and I don't need another one. But Uncle Joe was kind enough to send it to me, just because he's cool. He sent it to me for nothing. If you guys will remember, we were building the A-Box cracker, and I screwed up and spilled oil on something, and he sent me a new part. He sent me a whole extra boat with it. So thank you very much, Joe, for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this as a spare hull. I don't know if we're going to do the hardware on this. Knowing me, we might. You know, I tend to change my mind a lot, but we're definitely going to build it anyway. But we'll paint it in whole 9 yards, come up with a cool theme. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and take out all the stuff. That new laser smell. Okay. So what do we got here? Engine rails. All right. So I'm going to do a shout out to a friend of mine who started doing build videos on boats. And I'm so glad he did. Just for the plain and simple fact, there's not many people that do. So the more the better. And he stole it. My buddy stole it. I was going to do a ZippKits Thunderboat on my channel. I have 3 of them. I love the SLR Thunderboat from ZippKits. Absolutely love it. I have 3 of them. One of which is hanging in my office. And we're going to do an overview video of one of those probably tomorrow. But he's doing that build. And it's called Twisted Liquid. I always mess it up and he gets mad at me. Twisted Liquid RC Boats. And I'll put a link to his channel in there, down at the bottom. This is his first wood build, I think. Shout out, buddy, if you've already done one. And he's a pretty meticulous builder. A lot better than me when it comes to being meticulous about things. So if you want to see an SLR Thunderboat being built, go over to check his channel out, and you can learn with him. I can do one of those in my sleep, and part of me is happy he's doing it. Now I don't have to, but the other part of me really wants to do another one just because I love the Thunderboat. So, whatever. So, here's our engine rails. These are going to be doublers. Now again, since I have so many of these V-boxes, and building the V-box and building the A-box are exceptionally similar. Very similar. So, I might not go into a ton of detail on this build. If you need more detail, look at in the playlists of my channel. There is the build list of the build videos of the A-box, and same thing, different color. And that one's probably going to be a little bit more detailed than this. So there's our doublers. So anything that has 2 identical pieces, like in this case, these are going to be doubled up. So we're going to wood glue these together with clamps. Engine rails. This is carb side, or if you're facing if this is the axle of the boat, the axle, flex shaft of the boat, that's carb side, see the cutout, and this is going to be the exhaust side. Okay, we'll go over that in a minute. Our throw rod, got to have that. Fiber cloth, got to have that. This is upside down. All right, so these missing bits, ignore. Those were the spare parts that Joe had shipped me with the see, it says A-box. This is all spare. All right. Ignore that. Okay. So, this is back to our V-box. These are not doublers. Remember that last time I screwed this up? These are for these bits here And if you watch my buddy on that channel I showed you, he's real meticulous, man. He's funny. He's like, okay, he's in Canada. Those Canadian guys are very, very discreet about things. And he's like, all right. And he pops each one out. It takes him like 6 hours to get one out of the wood, which is cool. I'm not bashing him. He's like, be very patient with this. And you see me just sitting there beating shit out. I build and I destroy. That's what I do. It's fun. They're cheap. They're fun boats. I love everything about them. But he's a little bit more delicate-handed than I am. So those are our rod holders. Here's a bulkhead. Now, the thing you want to do, I'm just going to talk while we do this, imagine that, is once you get all these bits and bobs out, take yourself a sanding block, just a piece of 2x4, or if you've got one of these little half moon jobs, got Velcro on the side, this one's a Miles Craft, put some sandpaper on it, and you're going to knock down this laser edge. Just do the whole thing. You don't have to do like that, but any gluing surfaces, whatever. Because the laser edge will do two things. Well, primarily one thing. Epoxy will adhere to it, but CA glue, which you'll see in the way I build, I use a lot of CA glue for tacking things up. CA glue doesn't stick to it at all. Very poor. Because what that laser burn does is it basically seals or sears the pores of the wood. And once that happens, nothing can soak into it very well. And CA glue is very viscous. So, see, make sure... Oh, this is where I screwed up in the beginning, back in the day. Make sure you got all the bits and bobs out of the spare wood. Okay? So now we're going to take out transom, radio box bits, keel, and those of you that watched the Vbox build, a lot of this is looking familiar. The difference is these bulkheads are much more extreme in their interpolation, or their angle, sorry. Other side of the keel, so the keel's another doubler. Another bit of radio box, that's the other side. Make sure everything's out. Okay, so this one, okay. Now these are our chines. Can you tell I built a few of these? I have built, I'm going to say 6 or 7 Vboxes, and I've built, oh my gosh, at least 6 or 7, maybe 10 of the others. So this is the top deck. This is one side of our top deck. So I'm not going to take that out yet. We're going to put that on the side. Make sure there's nothing else irrelevant. Whoop. All right. That was a blank piece. That was not important. These are deck supports. Very similar to the A-box. Almost no difference. Little trickier putting the bottom on. But other than that, okay, same thing. So you can see this bit here is going to be half of the back hatch. That's going to be the radio box lid. And this is the other half of the top deck. Okay, but we don't need any of that right now. All right. Here's our sides. Here's one. The other one fell out. Keep this wood. Find a hanger in your garage or your workshop, whatever you got. Here's a bottom, which we're not going to need for a while. But find yourself a hanger and save these cutouts. At least a few of them. These are our bottom strakes. Kind of like the Super Sport. Do you guys remember the Super Sport build where we had these strakes on the bottom to help it go straight? Very important. But keep these spares of wood, because there will be times when you want to chop, you want a piece of wood to fix something, or you want to chop it up so you can make a shim, or like whatever, modifying stuff. And to find this kind of wood, you know, why buy it if you got it? I have tons of this shit hanging around the shop. Probably more than Joe. ZippKits. All right. I used to make the joke to my buddy JJ Horvath in Florida. I said, I bet I've built more boats than Joe. More of Joe's boats than Joe has built. And I think it used to be a joke, but now it's like, But I'm pretty excited to build that G30 he sent it. And Uncle Joe said, hey, would you mind making an electric, an FE? And I'm like, oh, for you, I suppose. I wanted to make it nitro, but he's sending me the electric stuff to do it as well because he's a good soul. And yeah, we'll do an electric outboard. Why not? So the strakes we don't need. Hatch lips we don't need right now. We don't need stringers. Chines, sorry. We don't need the sides right now. So the only doublers in this, okay, more chines. Chines are your side rails, okay? Deck rails, don't need those. We do need the keel. We need the support for the shaft. That's going to be a double. And like I said, in all my builds, I tell you this, guys. Follow the directions. Use me as a supplement. Radio box crap. Use me as a supplement to help you out, maybe. But don't, just because I do things differently doesn't mean they're right. Joe put a lot of time in them manuals, man. Use them, okay? None of the bulkheads get... These are not doublers, remember that? I screw that up every time. You can double them, it doesn't matter, but it's not what you're supposed to do. So the only doubles in this are that, which is the keel, shaft support, and 2 engine rails. So let's get some clamps. Look at that nastiness. All right. The trick to clamps. Hang on. The trick to boat clamps is when you think you've got enough, buy more. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Like if you and your old lady out shopping, you're just like, oh, and you do that male trick we all do. Oh, I need to go to Harbor Freight. I need something to unclog the toilet after this morning, or whatever y'all use for an excuse. Pick yourself some clamps. All right. Sorry about that. Super cute kid interruption. So, I always got to dig out the schmutz out of these wood glue. Look at that. Ooh, it's like popped a big zit. All right. So, with Tight Bond 3, we've all talked about this 1,000 times. It should not be, and I saw this on a video the other day, super thin. If it's super thin, either A, it's hotter than hell in your shop, or B, you have not shaken it up. Now, it's not thick like caulk, okay? But you want to shake this stuff, see? It should be like that. That's not that, I mean, it's thin, but it's not, the viscosity is not hateful. So we're going to take our doubler bits, and we're going to make this a pretty quick video for today, just because it's Friday. My little grandson baby's coming over. My wife's going to babysit, and I will have to watch the kids and dog. I'm not allowed to watch babies, apparently. My wife's too OCD. Okay? We're going to schmutz this together. Now, you want to try not to do that. We'll clean that out. So, line it up two-dimensionally. And we're going to clean all this up. But make sure your alignment is critical. If your alignment sucks, it's going to really be a bad day at the zoo when you have to align this over your bulkheads. Then you got to get out your Dremel tool and you got to grind on it. So keep feeling it. Keep feeling that edge. Make sure it's nice and flush. Okay. See, it moves a little bit on you. This way, that way. Now, you don't have to clamp the living crap out of these. You really don't. And the only place you have to worry about the glue, a professional would be... Where's my damn... God, every time. There. Try to get it out of the bits. Okay, I use a Q-tip. See that? Not the end of the world, though. It's really not. I usually take a Dremel tool and just kind of zip it through. But whatever. There's a bit and bulb. Make sure it's still lined up. I mean, give it a good clamping, obviously. But you don't have to have 8,000 clamps on this piece. You need 8,000 clamps on your deck. Okay. Now, bottom sheets. That's when you need 8,000 clamps. All right. We're going to put another one right here. All right. Set it off to the side. Let her cook, as I say. Same thing with this bit. Now, again, put on a little bit. Now, my buddy that I gave a shout out to over in or Twisted Liquid over there, like I said, he's a lot pickier than me. And what he has a good trick, which I've done, I did it a long time ago, but once maybe. I'm too lazy. Where he takes a little piece of rubber hose, something like that. Like that. There we go. And he sticks it in there, and it keeps the helps you with your alignment, and also keeps the hole clean. Clever, clever. I think I did do that once, but it takes too much time. I'm a Dremel maniac. I like my I like my Dremels. All right. Now he had said, and it's kind of cute watching him because he's a little bit greener than me on building. And he's like, man, the very first video of his Thunderboat, he's like, I think this is probably enough glue to do 2 boats. And I'm thinking, he's got a bottle about the size of mine. And I'm thinking, yeah, dude, you got enough glue there to last you the rest of your freaking life. You don't use a ton of wood glue with these builds. You really don't. It's mostly epoxy. And I thought that too when I bought a big bottle of. It actually will dry up and go bad before you'll ever use it. So again, 2-dimensionally, make sure you're good and copacetic. Make sure you do these ends. Okay, every couple of inches. Give yourself some good clamp area. You know, smooth it out. Just make sure you're even here, even there. Now, glue time on this, on these, anything you're using with this stuff. If you're at room temperature, which we are definitely, what do we got? We are 71 in here in the shop. So that's pretty much room temperature, right? You can assemble this with epoxy if you're clamping. Half hour. I usually let it sit longer than that though. But half hour, it'll hold together enough that you can take the clamps off. And you don't have to worry about it going south of cheese on you. I like how organized my clamps are. Guys like M5, which I'm sure Scott doesn't watch any of my crap, but he'd probably have to go to a therapist after watching one of my videos with all how disorganized I am. I'm sorry. I am in my shop way too much, like every single day of my life. And every day that I clean it is the same day I mess it up. So I'm like, you know, love it or leave it. I'm sorry. I'm not a clean dude. All right. I like to make my boats clean if possible. Keep them clean. I don't like them all oily and nasty, but okay, very simple. Just throw in a couple. Like I said, every time you go to the store, kids, if you're going to build more than one boat, or if you're just going to build in general, go out and get yourself a bunch of clamps. They're cheap, and get them at Harbor Freight. A clamp's a clamp, guys. It's not like you're buying a processor or a tablet or something. It's a fucking clamp, all right? Buy yourself a bunch of these. These are Harbor Freight specials. These are Menards. These are the ones you use the most. Staples. Go to Staples or any Office Depot, something like that. Buy yourself a couple 100,000 of them. You'll use them all. Bar clamps, all that crap. So, quick video today, but we're going to knock this boat out quick. It's going to be done in like maybe 3 or 4 episodes. We're not going to diddle around with this, okay? And once this is all cured up, we'll throw the jig onto our portaboard here, and we'll set everything up and just bam, 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 knock this thing out like Mike Tyson, baby. So, till next time, keep dry side up.
Love will tear us apart. was a kill.